G'day guys, thanks for joining in. Axel here, and I'm going to save you from my extended intro that I had for the video. What we're going to be focusing on today is baseline breeding. So getting to baseline is just simply all the stats that you get from a wild creature, getting them into a singular entity, and then obviously into a breeding pair that you can then use to start your proper breeding lines. That's the quickest way that I can explain it. And as you'll see in the video, I do seem to go in a bit of depth, so hopefully you guys can follow along with my brief explanation then. And now let's get into it. So here we have our raptor army that I've force tamed. I thought the aberrant version of the raptor would be prettier. I thought that maybe we could get some nice coloring off the offspring, but turns out that's not going to happen. I should have just gone for the X variant, but doesn't matter. We've got the aberrant army here now. So what I have with me is a mod called ARK. So just to give you my list of tools, I'm using superstructures, or S+, to collect the eggs for me. I've also got an SS tech trough full of meat. I don't have a stack mod, which I really should have brought on, but doesn't matter. I had to spawn in that much food. The ARK mod, which is what we're primarily going to be using, this is going to help simplify the process of stats and leveling. It's basically what Dododex tells you, but this time you can do it in-game. I believe that Wildcard should have added in an actual tech item that allows you to do this from vanilla, but nonetheless. And just a storage box full of all the materials that I was using to help build what we see here. So just my little humble abode. So yeah. Oh, and this little doodad here, the ARK egg incubator. Any egg placed within its range will automatically incubate at the perfect temperature. Doesn't matter what egg it is, unless the egg needs to be underwater, in which case it'll instantly die here. But yeah, so that's what it is. Just think of this as like your 10 air conditioners that you guys use. So that's my kit. And this is what I'm going to be using to help speed up the process and hopefully break it down to the point where everyone's able to understand it. So what we have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, so we have 9 raptors here. Clearly we have males and females because of the little mating icon there. So what I have here is the ARK spyglass, able to zoom in and out. And if I look at a dino, it tells me its stats. So as we can see here, this 225 female aberrant raptor has got 40 points into stam, 32 points into food, 22 into oxygen, 36 into weight, 39 into damage, 22 into movement speed, and 33 into health. So let's break down the stats. Stamina, obviously how long a creature is able to fly, sprint, or jump, or potentially swim for if it's not an aquatic creature. Food, simply how long it'll take for it to starve out. Oxygen, well, I'd like to think I don't have to relay what oxygen is for. Weight, I probably shouldn't have to relay what weight is for. Melee damage, alright, so every single individual creature, or species rather, every individual species has their own set base number for whatever damage it is that they do. For raptors, that's 15. So, other creatures like, say, a Rex is 62. Allosaurus is 35. Argy is 28. Carno is 35. You get the gist. So every creature has their base damage. The percentage we see, the 369%, and see how next to the fist there is a plus sign. So if we go back to our first female raptor, it's got 348 with the plus sign there. So if I go into it, it's actually 448, not 348. So 100% is the base amount. It can't be any lower than 100% because 100% is the 15 base damage. Alright, so I'm glad we got that stat out of the way. Movement speed does not change no matter what you do with taming a creature. It also does not change based on breeding. Unfortunately, any points in movement speed... Did I just see 38? Ugh. Oh, we got 43 into damage though. Hell yeah. Okay. So any points in the movement speed is a complete waste. So they're wasted points. Yuck, 39. So the more points you have in the movement speed, the worse. Now, in regards to why these certain points that you see, 39, 28, 33, 30, 42, 25, 27, why they're important is because all of them added up together will equate to 224. So this aberrant raptor is level 225. It has to start at level 1. When it's at level 1, it has no points in anything. So what you'd be seeing in these lines here is 0, 0. Actually, you know what? I'm going to quickly spawn in another raptor. Oh, if I can make it back up that way. No, I cannot make it back up that way. I am not going to spawn in another raptor because I can't go up that far. And I can't be bothered going back into the wiki to get it. But hopefully you guys understand. So the brackets denote the natural points put into it. So before any manual points. So right now, all these raptors have got 0 after the dash because I've put no points into any of them. Alright, very straightforward, very easy. All of them have their own set values. Now these values are what you'd be seeing in the game, especially on official servers. The reason why I'm using Archematic to try and explain this is to help break it down. That these values that you see, example, stamina, 750 means that this raptor has 40 points into stamina. So these values are not random. They all denote how many points of a certain stat have been given. So, let us break down even further. What we want to do when you are breeding, if you are breeding just for the sake of maybe getting more females so you can get more eggs, this guide is not for you. What you'll be wanting to do is combine stats together. So you want to find the best stat that you possibly can for whatever it is that you're after. So for the raptor, I guess ultimately you'd be after damage and health. But I wouldn't mind also getting stam and weight because, well, you still carry things on a raptor. You still want it to be able to carry you. There are probably better things that you could be taming, especially on official, if you're wanting to, I guess, have a super dino. But the raptor will serve our purposes because the breeding process is exactly the same, minus some creatures are eggs and others are live birth. Trying to get mass mutations on live birth creatures is a huge pain in the ass because you have to be there for the birth. Whereas, open, thank you. Whereas this little doodad, the hatchery, will automatically pick it up for us. We take it out of the hatchery and let the incubator just incubate it for us. So, what we're going to do is find the best melee. So we got 39, 30, 43. That's actually pretty good. Anything over 40, like 40 or above, for a non-tech dino is really, really good. Like that's awesome. So we've got 43, 35, 21, 31, 32, 33, 42. Alright, so the best we had was this 43 male. So what I'm going to do, some people put in the percentage, okay, because it's the percentage that you can see when you access the inventory. So you can see here 476%. So some people put in M for melee and then 476, meaning, 476%. It makes sense. What I'm going to do is put in the points. So I'm going to put in 43M. 43 melee, and it's a male. So I'm going to put the space there and denote its gender. So by denoting its gender, I know that it's one that I want to use. So I'm going to bring this one forward. And I'll leave it there. Alright, next we're going to look for the highest health. So we've got 27, 23, 42. 42 is quite good. 28, 42 again, 31, 28, and 33. Alright, so we've got two 42s. And this one's a male, and this one's a female. So I'm going to grab the female because we've already got a male over there. Alright, now we're going to look for the best weight. So we've got 30, 35, 34, 25, 33, 35, 36. Alright, so I think 36 was our best, so I'm going to grab this one here. Now, I'm just going to leave them here side by side, and then I'll name them as soon as... Huh. Alright, so now we're going to get for the best stamp. So 39, 32, 27, 41, 27, okay. So 41, and it's also another female. It's good that they're females because it means that the one male can breed with all the females. What a lucky guy. Alright, so 41, weight F. You're a 30... Oh, wait, what? No, 46S. 41S, F for Stan. 36, weight F. And for our health, 42 HF. Alright, so now we have the 4 that we need to try and get the stats into a singular creature. So, how I've been told, I technically haven't tested this because I truly just do not care enough about the actual statistic, but if you have 2 creatures, let's say the damage, 43 and 21. Apparently there is a 55% chance that you're going to get a 43 and a 45% chance that you're going to get a 21. That's as simple as that. It's basically a coin toss as to which stat you're going to get. And that goes for every single stat that each parent has. So, we're going to try and get the melee, the health, the weight, and the stam all into a singular baby. Then, we need to do it again for the opposite gender. So, this is going to take a little bit. There might be a few time skips. So, we'll see how we go. But I'm going to try and get these 4 stats into a singular entity. I have increased the interval, like breeding interval rates, as well as the maturation rate. I just have, oh, and the egg hatching speeds and all that. I just have no idea how to increase the actual mating speed itself. So yeah, this could take a while. This is probably the stuff that I'm going to be time skipping. In the meantime, these guys do not need to be here because they have worse stats in every single way. So that's all you're going to be doing. You're going to be finding the highest level creatures you can and then comparing the stats you see here and then looking for the highest in the stats that you claim to be important. So, as I said before, food for the Daedon, weight for maybe something like an RG or a Quetz, but keep in mind, depending on how you farm, let's say an Anki. Sure, an Anki with high weight could be good because you can just plot around and grab all the metal, right? Well, if you're going to go and grab all the metal, then that's okay. Like that's if you're just going to do it manually. But if you get carried by an RG, then weight doesn't matter because you can over encumber the Anki and the RG will then start accumulating all the weight. It'll take up the load. So instead, you'll want melee damage on your Anki, because then you get slightly more metal per swing. So, these guys are not done yet, but while we wait, time to kill some aberrant raptors. So, we're going to get this one, and that one, and this one, and that one, and this one. I'm going to grab my whacking stick. Going to get rid of these corpses. Going to pick up an egg. I'm going to pick up 2 eggs. Alright, and then I'm going to stick... Oh, actually, I'll stick the food in here. Why not? And I'll stick the other bits and pieces in there. Has this picked it up? Yes, it has. So, hopefully this doesn't glitch out like it does for Gigas and Spinos where they can just jump over the edge. But if I drop down the egg, it'll instantly hatch. That scared the shit out of me. Alright, I'm going to grab this little guy here. And he is going to grow up proper quick. Now let's see. He did not get the damage or the health that we were after. He got neither of them. So, this guy is no good to us. Can I kill it? Goodbye. And I'll use its meat to put back into here. And I'll get... Oh, no, actually, I'm not gonna use prime meat because that doesn't stack. Alright, so that didn't work out. That's okay. How long have you got until you can mate again? Oh, never mind. You are going straight away. So while we wait, I'm also going to make you mate with the male. And you're going to mate with the male. I'm just gonna pimp this boy out. And wait, was that a male? Oh no, it's a female. Okay, good. You and you. So that way, as the eggs are going to be collected, I will start pumping out the babies. I must have increased the egg interval laying rate as well because there's no way I was supposed to get 3 eggs in that short of a time. So what we're going to be looking for in the baby, in every baby that's born, because this is the common denominator, the 43 melee father. I suppose you could put 43D, because D for damage, maybe. M could be, you know, confused for movement speed. And then that should be picked up by the hatchery. Hopefully. Okay, good. And she is ready to go again. Excellent. Alright, so I'm going to eat that. And we're going to pop out another baby. 236. Oh, that's a good level. And this time we've got the... Okay, so we've got the health, but we don't have the damage. Because we don't have the damage, it's not really useful to us. So... Sorry, little guy. It's an important note to make sure that the baby in question actually has the stats you're after. Oi. I'm going to have... oh no, they disappeared. Okay, sweet. Yeah, it is important to note that if the baby does not have the stats you're after, do not keep it around because all it's going to do is use up all your food and... it's just going to be a nightmare. Trust, just trust. So, we're going to get hopefully a 43 damage. If you can get it in male form, it's even better. Because if you can get a male with the joined up stats, then... If you can get a male with the joined up stats between weight and stam and the health, then that will sort of take out one part of the equation. So right now we're dealing with 4 different parts because we've got 4 different stats. If you can get just 2 joined up, then it goes down to 3. So, you know, it's good times, it's good times. And the eggs should be done by now. Alright, so we got the stam and melee and weight and melee. So let's go with stam and melee first. Alright, you are a good level. Anything over the original level of the parents is awesome. So you do indeed have the stam and you do indeed have the damage. So I can't get you out of here. No, I can't get you out of here. Do I have to force tame you? Just so I can ride you out of here? Okay, let's see if I can ride it once it's fully grown. I think it might glitch inside this. I might have to spawn myself in a cryopod. This is fine. This is good. Progress. Ah, good. Thank you. So if I grab this and I can't get out. Alright, so we got this one here, and now we don't need the... this was the stam. So 41, we don't need the stam female to be working anymore. You're done, thank you. Alright, so we keep the female over here just in case, because you never know what's going to happen. Whoop. This is also a female. Okay, So what we're going to do, it's got 41 stam, 43 melee. So that's what we're going to put into its name. 41 stam, 43 melee, and it is a female. We need to make sure we keep track of what is doing what. So anything over 246 for coming out of this female breeding with that male. Oh, hell. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to need a baby to pop out from these two females that's going to have the combined stats and be a male to breed with this female. Because it's going to have the combined father's stat, this 43 melee female and the 43 melee male plus whatever extra health or weight stat baby that we get, because both parents will have 43 in the melee, the baby is guaranteed to have that. Oh, and an important note, just before we get too far into it, always make sure you check for mutations. You don't want mutations when you're going for a baseline, because that will start increasing your mutation counter, and that makes things a little bit messy. Makes things very hard to sort of keep track of. So let's go and hatch more eggs. So we got this little guy here, 250. Oh wow, you are a good level. Oh, and you're a male. Oh, what did I tell ya? All right, so you were the 36 weight. Okay, so we don't need weight anymore. I'm going to quickly go and turn the weight female off. Oh, and I'm going to quickly turn... There we go. Alright, so we got 43 melee female, 43 melee male, and that is exactly what we were after. Wow, this is turning out a lot better than I expected. How lucky is that? So, 36W, 43M. 36W, 43M, male. Now, obviously, I've got massively boosted rates to try and make this a lot faster. You will not have this, so please pay attention. Next, I'm going to keep this one here. So now we're going to be after a health and melee component to this. I'm not going to breed these guys yet because I don't want to confuse their eggs with these guys' eggs. It's important that each generation, this is second generation, this is first generation, it's important you keep the generational eggs separate. Unless you weren't lucky like me and you had more than one male. In which case you might have to intermingle a little bit, but you try to avoid it. Ooh, we're starting to get the coloring. Oh, it's getting dark. Right, yes, that's a thing. So, with this darkness, I must bring in light. Like that. And goodbye, pretty coloring. Okay, so we're going to... Oh, how many eggs do we have already? Let's go and have a look-see. We've already got 3 eggs. Nope, that's a weight one, so I'm going to eat that because I don't care about it. Health and health. Okay, so I'm going to hatch both these eggs at the same time because you just never know. You never know. So, we've got a 238 and a 223. Alright, so you got the health, but you don't have the melee. You've also got the health, but you do not have the melee. So, you dead, and you dead. Again, guys, do not keep them if they do not have the stats. Eat there, and let's get rid of all this. Alright, nice little bit of lag there. Let's try this again. So. Oh, did you just... Oh, okay, you must have just laid another egg. Let's go and hatch that egg. Excellent. Alright, what do we got this time? Oh, this is so not going to have the stats. It's actually got the health. How about that? But no, unfortunately, we cannot keep it. Sorry, little Timmy. Whacking stick. And more meat for the trough. Alrighty. So these guys, they're fully healed, they've eaten. Okay. Another good thing about raptors, I guess, is that they don't really have large food bars. Not like a Rex or a Spino. So ideally we would want another female, because that would mean that we only have the singular male again. If we got 2 males, then unfortunately we're going to have to wait until the female's able to breed again, which thankfully, because of the insanely boosted rates, is not that long. So just while we wait, I'll reiterate a couple of things that I've said. You guys can only see the raw stats, everything outside of the brackets. I'm only using this Archematic Spyglass to make it easier to see the stats, to break it down into the point system that we spoke of. So remember, the 26, 36, 40, 34, 21, 25, and 42 will equal whatever level your creature is -1, because the creature obviously has to start at level 1. So 0 for everything, level 1. And let's go and grab that egg. Alright, we got a 244. That is a much better level. And we have the weight, and we have the health, and it is a male. Hooray! Okay. So 43 melee, 42 health, and you have a penis. And I'm going to force tame you. Alright, so with that in mind, whisper. I'm going to whisper you to passive. Still got plenty of food. I don't think they've chewed through it that much. I don't think. Hopefully. Can I ride you around? Okay, sweet. I can ride you around. So we're going to go up to here. And now we've got the stats. We are going to stop the parents from doing the deed. Alright, excellent. So parents go out the back. Into the granny flat, guys. Alright. So now we're going to be breeding this one with this one. So now they both have 43 into melee. So the baby is 100% guaranteed to get that melee. And that's exactly what we're after. This is how you get a baseline. You have 2 parents that have identical stats. Well, identical stats that you find important. And then whatever stat you also deem important, but they don't have in common, those are the ones you try to get together. So this is where it starts to get a little bit complicated. Because now, even though we've got the melee, we now have to try and combine 2 stats again. This time the weight and the stam. So if it doesn't have the weight, or if it doesn't have the stam, what the hell was that? RG, you are pissing me off! So rude. So, if it doesn't have the weight, or if it doesn't have the stam, it has to die. But if it does, it lives. And we don't have to worry about the melee anymore, because we've already got it. It's right there. It's not changing. We got it, guys. Bam. Done. And just for you guys who, for some reason, can't work with small numbers and can only deal with big percentages, there is 476%, and there is 476%, and there is 476%. Alright, I'm feeling better already. Just out of curiosity, raw health for 42 points, 1800, 33, 1400, 20, 1200 for 28 points. These guys don't really get a lot of points with health with their points though, do they? Huh. Well, nonetheless, raptors are easy to deal with, so yeah, we'll stick with the raptors. Are raptors normally this big? I feel... Oh, actually, no, my character's just tiny. It's all G. Can you please hurry up? And as soon as that egg disappears, we can go to the hatchery and claim our prize. So remember, you're going to have to collect these eggs by hand, and you're going to have to find a room that... Gimme. You're going to have to find a room that has plenty of air conditioners, depending on what it is that you're trying to tame / breed, etc. Raptors have a pretty good range, like pretty normal, but some things require, you know, extreme heat. Wyverns, actually I think magmasaurs need to breed in lava. Like, how messed up is that? So we're gonna go and hatch this egg, and the parents with stam and weight. So we need good stam and good weight. And by writing the names into the parent's name itself, when it says the parents on the egg, you can see exactly what stat you're going to be looking for. So we're looking for 41 stam, 36 weight, up there in the top right hand corner. We've got a 257, which is actually better than the other one. So we've got 36 weight, 40 stam, 43 melee, 28 health. Wait, no, we didn't need health, did we? We got it! Oh my god, I think we got it. Woo! Alright, so just double checking, there doesn't have a mutation. No mutations. Excellent. So we're after... hold on. 40 stam instead of... hold on, just had it. There it is. Okay, we did not get the stam. Nope, we did not get the stam. Okay, you have to die. That was unfortunate. I thought we had it. Celebrated too soon. Alright, not to worry. I'm sure another one will pop out momentarily. See? Just like I said. So by the time we've dealt with the baby and determined if it has the stats and whatnot, so the fact that this male has 40 in stam, which is only just marginally behind this female's 41, oh, that's messed up. But it's alright. We deal with what we can, and I said we're going to get a baseline, so a baseline it is. This is our best stam, so that's what's going to go into it. So this is how you naturally increase the baby's level, by the way. So as we increase, or say give the better points from one parent to the baby by mixing two parents together to create these hybrids, and then using these hybrids to then create even better babies on top of that, you naturally increase what level the babies are going to be born at. Mutations come into it as well, but we will get to those in another video. Alright, this time we got a 240, which is so not going to have the stat we want. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Alright, so it got the stam, but it did not get the weight. Okay, I'm not going to use the sword anymore for killing them because the sound it made was actually quite sad. Yeah, that was kind of sad. So from here on out, if we don't get the babies we're after, I'm just going to time skip ahead until we do get the baby we're after. So for you guys, you don't have to wait as long as me. You are welcome. Hey, you guys going back here? You all good? Can I get you anything? Drinks? Refreshments? Condoms? Do you mind pushing me around with your tail? Alright, so this is the last egg we'll be waiting for. Well, last egg you guys will be waiting for. And then I'll do a big time skip. Because, yeah, I don't want to be waiting through this either. So, all G, it happens. We could literally be here till eternity. Because, as I said, we're now dealing with like more stats again. But thankfully we've taken the guessing game out for the melee. So there is no more variation for the melee. Melee is exactly the same. Oh, and in regards to naming, just in case you're wondering why the melee is in front of the health on this male as opposed to these other two raptors, that's because melee appears before the health in this little bar. So first is stam, then food, then oxygen, then weight, then melee, then movement speed, and then health. So, yeah, I just go off that. It's just easy for me to remember that way. Now let's go hatch this egg. Let's find out what Mama Hen has cooked up for us. 242. We had a 240 before. Have you got a mutation? Yes, you do. Okay, so you've got a mutation, and I don't like that. We can't keep you either way, but just out of curiosity, what was the mutation? You got a damage mutation. Alright. So, as you can see, it's got 45 into damage, which it was originally 43, because we determined that just there, right? 43, 45. So how does this work? Well, as everyone knows, well, I guess if you're watching this video, you don't actually know. So when you get a mutation, you increase the level of your creature by 2 points. So a random stat is allocated 2 points extra. Any stat here. So all 7 have the exact same opportunity to get 2 points. In this case, we got 2 points on the melee. Now, normally you'd have to look at... In ARK, there is a creative mode section to choose. Way ahead of you, Frisky. Way ahead of you. So, it will allocate 2 points to a random stat, and then that's how you get a mutation. And if we look in here, it got the mutation from the mother. Technically speaking, it could have gotten it from either. You can technically have a male give mutation slots to a female, or the matrilineal side, and vice versa. But nonetheless, yeah, so random mutation there, it's gone into melee, we can see that, and that's why I'm using the Archematic Spyglass, because you guys can physically see the extra points there available. Right there. No tricks, no camera effects, it is BAM! Right there. So, 376% went to 390, and that's what you guys will be looking for in official. You'll be seeing this stat rise just a little bit when you see the level rise. But we don't have a baseline yet, and this is why baselines are so important, because you'll have 2 females with the exact stats you want, and they'll be the exact same level. If they do not have the same stats and they are not the same level, spotting a mutation is exceptionally difficult, time consuming, and perfectly honest, if you're trying to breed something for mutations like a super dino, the last thing you want is to be wasting time going back and forth, 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 looking for which stat got the mutation for which parent. So using this Archematic Spyglass, I can break that down for you guys straight away. I'll also be using this in the next video when we start dealing with mutations in its own right. But for now, yeah, so mutation, which is good, like that's definitely a mutation that you'd want on a raptor, but unfortunately, bye-bye, freak. And I think we were given another egg. Okay, so because you guys don't have to actually wait for it, as such, I'm just going to do it anyways. 233, that is not good. No. No, that is not good. No. Okay. Goodbye. Okay, so yeah, from here on out, it's going to be a time skip for you guys. So I will see you momentarily. Alrighty, so got twins, but these guys have a mutation. Yep, they got a mutation from the father in their weight. They got 38 weight, but they still don't have the stam. And as we discussed before, mutations are bad when trying to get a baseline. So... Alright guys, so the egg after those twin mutators, those twin freaks, oh we got it, finally, and it's a female. Perfect. So you guys can stop. You stop. And you stop. Alright, so second generation will go in front of this one. Now, what we could potentially do to sort of help this along a little bit, because this male here does not have the weight or the stam. So if I tried to breed it with this female here that has the weight, the stam, and the damage, I'm trying to breed 3 stats into a single entity instead of just 2. So I have to roll 3 different dice, which is no bueno. So what we're going to do, and I'll show you shortly as soon as I finish off this naming. Alright, so 41 SS. 41 superstructures. And I force tame you. And I put you over here because you'll be first in line shortly. what we're going to do is bring this female back out, and we're going to breed it with this male until we get a combination of their stats. Now the reason why we want the combination is because when we get the combination of these guys' stats with the stamina and the health, we're going to have everything except for the weight. We've got the weight here, and this girl has everything except for the health. But this one's going to have the health because it's going to get it from this guy here. So again, breeding two stats together. So this male doesn't have the stamina, and this female doesn't have the health. So breeding two stats together, so when we get the product of these two, we breed it with this female, provided it's a male, and we're again only breeding two stats together. By breeding two stats together at a time, so look, stam, weight, two stats. Then, when we got the melee all together, we started breeding in the other stats into the melee, with the melee. So that's how we got this product. So two stats here. Whoop. Actually, just to make it a little bit simpler, I'll bring this male back. Yeah. So with the product of this here, because this male had the melee, right? So two stats, two stats, two stats. Okay, so all you ever want is two stats going into the next generation, because that will make it much, much easier for you to then get this. You're only rolling 2 dice instead of 3 or even 4. I've tried 4. It's not fun. So, what we're going to do now is put this male back, because we've got everything we need out of it, as you can tell by the product over there. So this female has got everything that this male does. So this male is no longer of any use to us. So we're going to breed this female and this male. Just to be clear, you are off breeding. Okay, good. So now we're going to time skip again, and I'm going to be back when we have a baby that's got both the stamina and the health, and then it'll be a little bit clearer as to why you sort of wait until you've got the 3 stats into 2 different creatures. What makes this difficult though is that it needs to be the opposite gender to this. If it's not the opposite gender, then obviously the 3 stats on here and the 3 stats on the other one mean diddly squat, because 2 holes don't make a baby. Alrighty, so straight off the bat with the new pair, we got the stamina and health. And it is indeed a male, so that's absolutely perfect for us. So I'm going to let that guy grow up. Switch into that, and these guys are going to be turned off. And park these guys out of the way. But it's important to keep them. It's very important to keep them. So, on our conquest to make a baseline. Now, the final test, just before we get too excited, is to make sure there are no mutations. Excellent. No mutations is VV good. So, 43 melee, because obviously 41 stam. The weight isn't the 36 that we need, but that's okay, because that's over there. And this has got the 42 health, which this female over here does not have. So, now we're trying to combine the health from this and the weight of that. They both have 41 stam and 43 melee. That's what I mean by you only want to combine 2 stats at a time. If you're wondering what all those numbers were there, that was me spawning in advanced rifle ammo, because I don't want any more wild creatures coming in here. So, this, whoops, I should probably name you, just so we're on the same page. So, 41 stam, 43 melee, 42 health, and you're a male. So we got our male, and we have our female. Notice how the stats in everything, except for movement speed, weight, and health, are exactly the same. 41 into food, 41 into stam, 29 into oxygen. This is going to help us be able to get our baseline. Remember, the two baseline parents need to be the exact same level with the exact same stats, or else spotting mutations will be too difficult. But that will be in part 2. So let's turn these guys on and let them do their thing. So you guys, I'm sure by this process, know exactly like how this side of it works. So I'm going to time skip again until we have combined these stats. But, and there's unfortunately a but here, because movement speed is not the same, unfortunately I will need either a male with that movement speed and the other 2 stats that we want, or I need a female with that movement speed and the other 2 stats that we want. If I don't get that, then the baselines, even though it'll have the stamina, the weight, the melee, and the health, it won't have the correct level. So yeah, we're going to have to try and work towards that. So yeah, time skip time. Alrighty, so we just got our baseline in twin form. Male and female. That is the luckiest thing ever. I should go and buy a lottery ticket, to be honest. So, yeah, we've been exceptionally lucky for this little explanation, so I'm happy about that. Which means you guys hopefully get an easier explanation on how this all works. So, I will quickly move this over here. So, we have every stat. Force tame. And I need to force tame you. Alright. But before we can celebrate too much, we've got to make sure that there are no mutations. Just in case, I do have a few more eggs that I can hatch. So being twins, they are identical in every way. No mutations is bueno. So, 41 stam, 41 food, 29 oxygen, 42 health, 36 weight, 43 melee, 25 movement speed. So male and female. This is our male and female baseline. Baseline male. Oops. And baseline female. So, just to reiterate everything that we've done so far, we had our single stat parents. Alright, so we found the best stats of each stat we wanted in the wild tamed creatures. So, find the best levels you can. The highest levels, it doesn't have to be a 150 perfect tame because you technically can't get a 225 out in the wild. It'll be a 224, but you understand the premise anyway. So, single stat parents combining 2 stats together to create the second generation. So these 2 stat creatures. Then, getting 3 of those, because I chose 4 stats, getting 3 of those then breaks down into 3 stat creatures. 3 stat meaning they've got 3 stats that we were after. And now, these 3 stat creatures have created our baseline. Because it has 4 stats. The very original 4 stats that we had in the very first generation of raptors. So, that's basically how it works. You're just trying to transfer the stat that you want from the parent into a baby. And from the parent into a baby. And then from the parent into a baby. And now we have the baseline. So I do hope that this was clear enough for you guys. I do hope that I've explained it well enough and that the Archmatic Spyglass has shown how the different points sort of add up. So, quick summary. The total level of your creature, provided you've put no levels into it yourself, is all these points you see in the brackets minus 1. So, right now we've got 257 points all up. And then the extra +1 is just because the creature needs to start off at level 1 to begin with 0, on every stat. So, as you can see, most of the time, the the levels will increase from one generation to the next. So 225, 244, 262, and then 258. So this one did go down a little, but that's because the movement speed on this female is huge. That still contributes to the 262 that we see here. These guys only got a 25, which is from this male, so that's great. Oh, for a second there, I thought that we had a mutation because there's 2 points extra in the weight, but then I remembered that this female here has that weight. Kind of tripped myself out. But as you can see, 256 to 258. So this is our baseline. This is our, I guess, quote unquote, perfect pair. So yeah, this was part 1. Cheers for tagging along and listening to my spiel. And I hope that you've learned something. And yeah, this is part 1. Drop a like if you enjoyed. And I will see you guys over in part 2 for the explanation and demonstration on mutations.